G'day and welcome back to Down the Shed with Byron. Today on the Mazda CX7 I'm flushing the brake fluid. Tools for the job: a 10mm spanner, 8mm spanner, bit of brake cleaner, bit of brake fluid, single person brake bleeding kit, a syringe, a few rags, things that make it easier. One of these vacuum suction pumps or a little vacuum pump. Before you start the job, just check what brake fluid you actually require, and on top of the cap it will say .3 or .4. Simply remove the cap, and on the inside you'll find there's a little gauze. It's like an extra filter when you're filling it up. Just take that out. Now with the syringe, you can place it inside there, suck out whatever old brake fluid you can. Throw a rag underneath so you don't drop any of that on your paintwork. Put it into a waste oil container. You'll find if you are using this method, you won't be able to get to all the fluid. So just use a bit of hose out of that single person brake bleeding kit. That'll go down as far as you can. You'll find that you'll only be able to get so much fluid out because gaining access any further to the bottom of the master cylinder is restricted. This is where I'll just top it up with some new brake fluid now, being gentle, not to spill any. As you can see, it's a nice clear blue. Take note of where your level is. Once the master cylinder is full of new fluid, going to the furthest brake caliper away from it, so in this case it's our left hand rear, and start the bleeding procedure from there. Now you don't have to do this with the wheel off. I'm just doing this for video so you can see what I'm doing. So you can reach into the back here. This is your bleed nipple. Just pop that little boot off. It's a protective cover for the nipple. Your 10mm spanner, ring end on. Fit your single person brake bleeding kit onto there, whichever hose fits the best, because you want it to be a tight fit. Crack that, and literally you can just let that gravity bleed itself, just keeping an eye on how much fluid comes out. There you go, the start of the fluid's starting to come out. You can speed up the procedure by applying the brake pedal a few times. I'd go about four or five applications, then go down the back and have a look. Once you're happy you've got enough clean fluid going through, lock off that bleed nipple. Remove the kit, and again just empty that back into a waste oil container. Making sure the bleed nipple's firm. Give the area a bit of a spray with some brake clean. Reinstall the little rubber cover, bleed nipple cover. Making sure you keep an eye on your brake fluid and top up as required. So from the left hand rear brake caliper, I've moved over to the right hand side, and there you go, just gravity bleeding it and keeping an eye on that master cylinder level. With the rear brakes all completed, I've just moved over to the front left-hand wheel. Turned it out to the left and done the same procedure. Now we're on to the last caliper. So the right-hand side, I'll just put the spanner on there. I've turned the wheel all the way to the right. This is the 8mm spanner. I can't remember if I mentioned the rear was the 10mm you'll need. Crack that off. I'm just going to let it gravity bleed. Again, once you're happy you have nice clean fluid coming through, lock off that bleed nipple, making sure it's firm. Drop the bottle off. Double checking your brake fluid is on the full mark. I should have installed that earlier, but hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Reinstall your cap. And that's pretty much the job done. Dirty thumbs up. I hope this video helps you out. It's not 100% of the fluid is flushed, but it's a majority of it. What I ran maybe 1 or 2 bottles of waste out of the rear and 1 out of each front. And that was roughly 600 mils. So for a cheap brake fluid flush, you're pretty much good to go. Then jump back in, make sure you've got a nice firm brake pedal, and you're good to go. Righto, take it easy and see how I'm looking at you. A little bonus part, just in case you do spill some brake fluid, e.g. on the guard or somewhere, clean it as soon as possible and then give it a wash with some soapy water because it will eat into your paint. Okay, take it easy, see ya.